Hello and welcome to the September 1st checkpoint video. What is a checkpoint video? Well, it is a bi-yearly video where I go over the progress that we're making on the project and also just the state of the project. It's basically just an unscripted video of me rambling about what is happening in the sphere of this project. So to start off, I want to show off this. This wasn't in the previous video, I believe. It is a website that I completely made myself, which is basically just a website for the project. As you can see, we do not have a custom domain because who's going to pay for that? But this is made from the ground up with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, if you're interested. And it basically contains some FAQ here. It contains links to applications for modeling building, for testing. It contains progress, which we'll go over later. It contains the most recent video. It contains some information about our main team members. I'm probably going to update this with more team members in the future. And also some basic contact right here. I still have the old Twitter logo here because I am not changing this to an X. So basically, this website's pretty cool, but the main hub that we want to use for this project is what we now call the public Discord server. Before this, you basically had to join my Discord server called Pancake for anything related to the project. And we had a private Discord server for the project itself. But now this server has been turned into a public server. This actually didn't take that long to make. And as you can see, it has a bunch of main channels. All of these are accessible to everyone, and some secret tester channels that I will show you this of, but I'm not going to click on any of them. So if you want, you can join these using the link in the description. And it has stuff like a general chat. It has a bots channel. We have some cool bots, memes. This is some really funny memes. Look at this one. Amazing. Self-promotion, some cool roles, and suggestions that anyone can type in with a little bit of slow mode, of course. And these channels, mainly the development chat. This is a chat where we talk about development. This is accessible to anyone. But if you're not a tester or a developer, you cannot type in this, so you can only read what we're saying and maybe whine about what we're saying in the actual general chat. But anyway, that's a Discord server, so join using the link in the description. So let's go back to this website and check out progress. So this is mainly important if you actually want to see what we're up to. So this has some progress bars, and since we haven't done that much on building and stuff, some of the bars are completely empty. Now, let's check out this first bar, the enemies bar. So this is in a 100% accurate bar because we have an exact number, like this number out of this number is complete, while stuff like gameplay, that's kind of subjective, how much of that is done. It's not like we have an exact number. But yeah, 125 of 124 enemies. Now, you may be asking yourself, what the fuck are these other enemies that haven't been done yet? Well, we can check that out. I'm not actually sure myself. Let's see here. So this first bar indicates coded enemies, so let's look for a gap. Here we are. We have Argy. The reason is, this is a boss specific. This is an enemy that only appears in the Argus boss, so I'm not coding that until we have that boss. Blazing Bat is for the final boss of Ganon. Green Gorilla is hard because that's like the enemy that copies your movement in dungeons. I'm not at all sure how to make that, so same for Red Gorilla. Wallmaster is dungeon specific. It's like the hands that grabs you and places you back at the start. Boulder, well, I need Death Mountain for this. Bubble Group only appears in certain dungeons. Lightning Lock only appears once in the castle, so yeah. The Rabbit Beam, I'm trying to think what the fuck the Rabbit Beam is. No clue. And then you have the bosses. So in terms of bosses, we have 4 out of 18. Those 4 being Ball and Chain Trooper, not really done yet, but I need models. Armos Knights is pretty much done, same for Moldorm and Lamolus. So that's all of that stuff. Items, 51 out of 53. The only 2 that are missing, as you can see here, are the Dungeon Map and Compass. Dungeon Map is hard because we may just end up replacing the current map system for the overworld with a dungeon map when you're in a dungeon. And the Compass, well, I'm not really sure what we're going to do with that. But all of the other stuff is basically done. Then you have gameplay. Gameplay is fucking empty because there's no gameplay yet. I'll talk more about the future plans and stuff like that concerning this in a bit. But there's also overworld builds. So basically, Link's house has been built. That's here, and they're also making good progress on the castle. Dark World, nothing yet. Dungeons, well, we have some basic dungeons, but they have to be spiced up a little more, so I'm not doing anything with that. And bonus content, well, I code some bonus content, so this is already a little filled up. And then we have this, which takes all of these bars into account. I'm pretty sure the gameplay bar counts 10 times as much as the other ones, which leaves us with this, a final progress marker for the entire project. It's pretty empty, I know, and the project age is 1 year and 225 days, so if you do the math, this is probably going to take like 10 years at this rate, but it's not, because as I said, the gameplay bar counts 10 times as much, and that will probably start filling up once we have some builds done, so don't really worry about it. So this will be updated every time progress is made, and there's also patch notes, woohoo. So this will take a little time to load, especially on mobile, and it contains a full list, let me scroll down, of all the patch notes we've ever done, all the way back to January of 2022 when it first started. So everything I ever did, this is only for coding by the way, is here. So just go to a random thing. What did I do? On the 7th of August, I updated the map to 1.20.2 and created enemy placement design. Cool. Now, the main thing you're all here for is probably the state of the project. And the thing is that we are currently almost ready to start adding gameplay. Now, what I'm currently waiting for is for Reeves and also Finn's been helping a bit with that, to finish Hyrule Castle. So if I can, I'll show you a little image here. So these are some basic parts of the castle that have been done. It's basically almost ready to get texture and stuff like that. The surrounding terrain is basically done. And Link's house, as I said, is also done. And then we need a little bridge and also the sewers underneath the castle. And then we can just start coding the first part. So our plan is to get all of this done, and then basically it's my task to code the entire first part of the game. So that's from the complete beginning of the game to the end of the Hyrule Castle dungeon when you get into the sanctuary, basically that entire part. So that includes the Ball and Chain Trooper mini-boss. It includes all of the enemies there, all of the items there, all of the dialogue in there, some quests for the quest system, stuff like that. And the music, all of that will be done hopefully by the end of this year, so by 2024. And when that is done, we hope to kind of make a proper announcement of the project. And yes, I know that I already announced the project, like the video that I made about like a year ago, if I scroll back here, is this, the announcement video, which actually has 4,000 views, nice. But it's kind of shit, because this was before we even got anything done, and most of the stuff that I talked about in this announcement video is kind of irrelevant now. So that video is going to be redone. We're going to show actual gameplay. It's going to be way more professional. And with that, we hope to get even more people into the project. Because right now, yeah, we're on like 1.3k subscribers. But that can definitely be more. And we also need some developers and some modelers and stuff like that. So it's just to get the project out there, you know. What are we going to do after that is done? Well, after that, progress is just going to continue. You know, when the castle's done and the entire first part is coded, we're just going to get over to making the entire overworld built, probably like Kakariko Village, the other smaller buildings, and then of course all the dungeons in the overworld. And once all of that is done, we go over to the Dark World, make that entire thing, make the dungeons in there, blah blah blah, make all the bosses work, and then the game is done. Yeah, well, this will take a while, I know. I don't know if I mentioned a prediction in the last checkpoint video, but I would say my prediction is probably another 4 years, at least, because the scope of the project has really gotten bigger. You know, we have a lot of new members on the team. We have a new developer called Blue Gaming. Finn's always been here, but yeah, we have people like Rubel and the Warfer, who are basically what I call advisors. They're basically not developers, but they give us a lot of help in terms of planning and designing. So it's becoming a really big thing, and we're starting to realize that basically no other Minecraft project has ever been this big. So we're really putting our all into it and not rushing it. So if you can, just give us the time. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep uploading devlogs until the entire thing's done. because we may end up at a point where I've made a devlog about everything I can, so I've run out. And in that case, I'll probably just stop uploading and start uploading whenever we finished a big part of the game, like a dungeon or something. So yeah, the point will come, but that's fine. And I hope you guys will stay with us throughout the entire project, because it's just been really fun to get the chance to do something like this. And yeah, that was basically all I wanted to mention. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And don't forget to stay safe.